every plastic bag that they use when they go shopping or when they go grocery shopping. So with the ordinance last year, last 2019, we amended the ordinance. So there will be no 2 pesos charge because there will be no plastic bags distributed in the malls, in the grocery stores. So instead, the Type 1 retailers will put the items in brown bags instead. Pero of course, we encourage the consumers to bring their own eco bags or shopping bags.
Sabi mo kanina, January 2020 naman.
Effectivity to January 1, 2020. Pero after 2 years, which will be January 1, 2022, including yung mga paper bags, ban na talaga siya sa mga groceries and department stores. So talagang yung mga consumers, magdadala na sila ng sarili nilang mga bags and eco bags and shopping bags.
Ma'am, bakit naisip? Kasi usually parang yung LGU they stop sa ban is plastic and just paper bag. Pero why like take another step towards banning?
Yes, kasi paper bags, at the end of the day, it also goes to the landfill. Nagiging basura din siya. So talaga ang gusto natin is lifestyle change wherein yung mga consumers, kailangan matuto na silang magbago ng sarili nilang mga eco bags and shopping bags. So yun talaga yung goal natin sa Quezon City.
Every year for the whole country. And about 174 plastic bags per person per year in the Philippines, which is about 20 billion per year. So clearly, we have a plastics problem here in the Philippines, not only in the waste management side, but in the consumption side of how much plastic we're using. And that is the reason why Gaia commissioned this survey to identify what are the beliefs of Filipinos in terms of the appropriate actions for this. Later, we'll have reps from Quezon City who will tell us their new ordinances pertaining to plastics, regulating plastics in Quezon City. But we want to get the pulse of the people nationally. And that is the reason why we had these 3 questions commissioned with SWS. And what it showed us in Gaia is that the common excuse being used by companies that they continue to use sachet is because it is the only pro-poor alternative is actually put into question. As this survey would show, there's even a higher percentage of low-income people, families, that are more open to regulating plastic, especially single-use plastic like sachets and plastic bags in the Philippines. So, hindi tama na gamitin pa rin yung palusot na para sa mahihirap yung patuloy na paggamit ng mga sachets at ng mga plastic bags sa bansa natin. Sa katotohanan, mas tayong mga ordinaryong mamamayan ang nagdudusa kasi taxes natin ang binabayad ng gobyerno natin para i-manage yung mga produkto na nilikha ng mga kumpanya na patuloy na gumagawa ng mga problematic products and packaging like single-use plastic. No? So para sa amin, panahon na para bigyan talaga ng ng atensyon ng gobyerno, especially this January, where we are celebrating the Zero Waste Month. Napapanahon na ipasa na yung long time na pending na National Single-Use Plastics Bill focusing on certain products. And yung ating mga legislators, even yung ating mga local executives ay hindi dapat matakot sa maaring reaksyon ng mga tao because this survey would show na malaki at mataas ang suporta ng mga Pilipino kasi lahat naman nakikita yung masamang epekto ng plastic hindi lamang sa ating kapaligiran kundi sa ating ding mga tao. So siguro sa Gaia yun yung ating main takeaway dito which is really to rebut yung excuse na the continued use of sachets in the Philippines is for the poor.
Of Quezon City District 1.
Hello, good morning. Morning pa ba? My name is Councilor Dorothy Doray de Lermente, and I'll briefly discuss about the 2 plastic ordinances that we just passed in Quezon City last year. Okay, so to make it clear, Quezon City has enacted 2 ordinances on plastic. The first one is SB 2868 series of 2019, which is the total ban on the distribution of plastic bags And the other one is SP 2876, series of 2019, or the prohibition on the distribution and use of single-use plastic and disposable materials, including cutleries for dine-in purposes in all hotels and restaurants in Quezon City. So, Series 2868, or the total ban on distribution of plastic bags, to the previous ordinance which I also passed, which is the use and distribution of plastic bags by Type 1 retailers and charging of a 2 peso plastic recovery system fee or green fund. If you can recall, last year, buy something from the grocery or the department store, they have to pay 2 pesos if they want their items be put inside the plastic bag. So with our recent ordinance, I amended that ordinance wherein there will no more be plastic bags distributed in the Type 1 retailers. So wala nang plastic bags. Instead, the consumer should bring their own eco bags, or if the retailers would allow, they could provide paper bags. But these come in 2 phases. So basically, for the first ordinance, which is the plastic bag ordinance, the coverage are Type 1 retailers. So ano to? Shopping malls, supermarkets, department stores, grocery stores, fast food chains, food stalls, restaurants, drugstores, pharmacies, and other similar retailers registered under the Business Permits and Licensing Department. So the role of the retailers, number 1, conspicuously display the environment-friendly notice, Save the Environment, bring your own reusable bags. Number 2, provide reusable bags for purchase by consumers. Third, supermarkets and wet and dry markets are still allowed to wrap, unpack fresh foods, cooked foods, and using plastic or labo for hygienic purposes. So, pwede pang gamitin yun for wet foods, but of course, they should encourage their consumers to bring their own containers. Next, implement their own recyclable trading activities. Implement incentive schemes for customers who are using reusable bags or bringing their own bags when they go grocery shopping. And remit remaining green fund to the city government, which shall be solely used for the environmental projects. From the previous ordinance kasi, the 2 pesos that they are paying for the plastic bags, they should put it in the green fund for their own private establishments. And then yung green fund na yon, they're supposed to use it for their environmental activities. But now, since there is no 2 pesos anymore, wala nang green fund. But those that were already able, those that na-collect na ng mga Type 1 retailers previously, they should remit it to the Quezon City government for us to implement their environmental projects. This, we also did this, it's also part of the amendment because the Commission on Audit observation said that the green fund collected by the stores should be remitted to the government than them keeping it and doing their own projects. Okay, for the phases of implementation. Phase 1, total ban on distribution of plastic bags by all Type 1 retailers. So this means stop collection of plastic recovery fee or green fund yung 2 pesos, but Type 1 retailers are still mandated to submit annual reports to the EPWMD or the Environmental Protection and Waste Management Department to monitor trends in the purchase of reusable bags. So sa phase 1, they can still provide brown bags or paper bags. But on the phase 2, implemented 2 years after effectivity date, total ban on the distribution of brown bags in all Type 1 retailers. Meaning, total ban na talaga, even the brown paper bags. So after 2 years upon implementation, we started implementing January 1, 2020 this year. So after 2 years, wala na talaga ipro-provide na paper bags ang retailers. So the consumers should bring their own reusable, recyclable, or eco bags or boxes. Whatever they could use to put their items. Okay, so Type 2 retailers That includes wet and dry markets, talipapa, yangge, hawkers, and other similar retailers under the jurisdiction of the Market Development and Administration Department. So supermarkets and wet and dry markets and other type 2 retailers are still allowed to wrap unpacked fresh food, cooked foods using plastic labo for hygienic purposes. But type 2 retailers are not allowed to distribute plastic carry-out bags with handles, holes, or string. So kung yung paglalagyan ng pagkain or ng fresh food like isda, pwede pa yung plastic. Pero yung shopping bag na, hindi na sila hindi na magdi-distribute yung mga markets ng shopping bag na doon na ilalagay na pamili. So the consumer should bring their own eco bags to put their items. Okay. So for the second ordinance, which is the single-use plastic ordinance, that's SP 2876, series of 2019. That is the prohibition of the distribution and use of single-use plastics and disposable materials, including cutleries for dine-in purposes in all hotels and restaurants in Quezon City. So the coverage, hotels and restaurants, such as but not limited to, quick service restaurants or fast food restaurants, coffee shops, hotel restaurants, hotels, motels, hostels, transient houses, and other similar establishments. What is banned? For customers or clients dining in, plastic spoon and fork, knives, plastic or paper cups. Yung paper cups kasi it's still lined with wax. So kahit sabihin nilang paper cups, may plastic pa rin yun. Tama ba? Okay. Plates, plastic or paper cups, plates, cups and plates yun. Plastic or paper straws, coffee stirrers, condiment cups with lids, ketchup or soy sauce packets, and other similar plastic and disposable materials as well as styrofoam packaging. Again, this is for dining in. Why are we starting off with dining in? Similar to the previous plastic bag ordinance, I always say mahirap biglain ang mga Pilipino. But like for the plastic bag ordinance na may 2 pesos, nasanay na sila to bring their own eco bag. So now, it's high time that we total ban it because nasanay na yung consumers ng Quezon City. So similar to this, wag muna po nating biglain. So we're starting off with the banning of single-use plastics in dining in, and then eventually we will also ban totally ban all single-use plastics, including takeout. Eventually, after masanay na ulit yung mga consumers with this ordinance. What is banned? Also, hotels are prohibited to distribute soap, shampoo, shower gels, liquid soap, conditioners, and other items used for hygienic purposes in sachets and single-use containers. So we highly encourage them to instead use the refillable containers in their hotels. Actually, a lot of hotels here and abroad are already doing it. So, penalties. Penalties for both ordinances. First offense, 1,000 pesos. Second offense, 3,000 pesos. Revocation of environmental clearance and issuance of a cease and desist order by the business permits. And third offense, 5,000 pesos. Revocation of the business permit and issuance of a closure order. The City Legal Department shall take appropriate action against violators upon the recommendation of the Business Permits and Licensing Department for non-compliance to the closure order. Effectivity date. The plastic bag ban took effect last January 1, 2020, while the ban on the use of single-use plastics and disposable materials in hotels and restaurants will take effect on February 15, 2020. Prior to the implementation of the ordinances, series of consultative meetings were conducted with concerned retailers and establishments for information dissemination last December 13, 16, and 18. Itong dates na to for the consultative meetings, this is to write or to consult kung before gawin yung implementing rules and regulations. But before I passed the ordinance, I also had series of public hearings wherein I invited everyone or all the stakeholders involved, including the mga, mga grocery, shopping malls, restaurants, hotels, and also the consumers. Actually, if I may add, initially, the original draft of the plastic bag ordinance, we increased the plastic bag fee from 2 pesos to 10 pesos. Minsan pa nga 20 pesos pa yung naisip namin. But during the public hearing, yung mga business owners na mismo ang nagsuggest na why don't we totally ban plastic bags. So, nakakatuwa eh. I mean, it was very overwhelming. Were you there? Yeah, we were there. And it was very overwhelming to see everyone raise their hands and everyone agree na might as well ban it totally kesa i-increase pa natin yung plastic bag fee. So that's why, hence the nature of the ordinance of banning the plastic bags totally.